Hi, and welcome back to our learning of Mishnah Shabbat. We're up to chapter 6, Mishnah 6. Okay, so we're continuing the learning of what may someone go out with into the public domain, what may they be carrying between domains on their person, whether something qualifies as a garment, an adornment, whether it's something permissible or whether it's a burden, whether it's something that they're carrying and not permissible in the public domain or between domains. So this is specifically having to do with, as with the previous Mishnah, with a woman, what a woman may have. And the same rules apply to men and women for carrying. It has to do with what sociologically is typically being carried, or being worn, rather. Yotz'a v'sela she'al hatzinit. She may go out with a sela that is on a wound. So there's like this medical treatment with using like a coin bound to the foot, the bottom of the foot, to treat some kind of foot condition. So that is permissible, presumably because it's not being carried in a usual manner, and because it's not actually carrying, it's on the bottom of her foot and bound to it, so it's not going to come off and then she's going to pick it up. So I would think those would be the reasons why we don't have a concern with this. Habanot ketanot yotzot bechutin va'afilu v'kismin shebeoznehen. So young girls may go out with threads or slivers that are in their ears. So before they would get, they would have piercings, but before they would actually get nice earrings, they would have just something that would keep maintain the opening, like a thread or a sliver of something. And that was permissible, even though it's not the actual adornment. Adornments would be a general category that's permissible, even though it doesn't yet constitute the adornment. It is something that she won't take out because she doesn't want the hole to close. And if it falls out because it's such a cheap thing, she won't be concerned about it, and she won't necessarily feel the need to pick it up. Okay, continuing on. Arviot yotzot reulot, umadiot perufot. Okay, so Arabian women may go out veiled, and Median women may go out with their cloaks fastened over their shoulders. So this is interesting. This has to do with societies in which these things were normal parts of one's the clothing that was worn by women in the society. Therefore, those are items of clothing, and they're permissible. But it's interesting, the next line, that it actually expands this category. It doesn't just give it the narrow scope of these specific context of these lands, these places where women wear these clothing, but actually more broad. V'chol adam ela shedibru chachamim b'hoveh. Indeed, actually, all people may do so, may wear this veil, or may wear this cloak that's fastened with some kind of button, some kind of clasp on their shoulder. But the sages spoke of the present, of the actual custom. So the sages in this Mishnah, they want to describe something that's the real on-the-ground circumstance in which societies were these articles of clothing being worn. But it's actually more broad. It applies to anyone who wants to wear this clothing, not just ones in which it's common for non-Jewish women as well to wear these articles of clothing. And therefore, that's why Jewish women are wearing them, because it's the style of the land. But actually, these items of clothing are just permissible. Porefet, so now we're up to Zayin, the next Mishnah, Mishnah 7. Porefet, al ha'even, v'al ha'egoz, v'al ha'matbea, uvilvad, shelo tifrof lechachila b'shabbat. She may fasten her cloak, so we're talking about this cloak that just finished the previous Mishnah, that has this like button, this makeshift kind of button, with a stone or with a nut or with a coin, provided she does not fasten it initially on Shabbat. So she prepares these things before Shabbat. So it's interesting here what's on this list, the stone and the nut and the coin. So let's take stone and coin. They're very different, because a stone, we know, a stone would be muksa if it's not designated before Shabbat. But if you say, now it's designated to be my makeshift button before Shabbat, then you could use it and it's totally fine. It's no longer muksa. It's no longer something that doesn't have a specified purpose on Shabbat, because it has been designated before Shabbat to have a purpose. The coin, however, a coin you could do that with. You could designate it and say you're going to use it as a button, but we know that a coin could then go back to being a coin. You might want to use it as money eventually. So maybe there would be a slight difference between the stone and the coin that's not elaborated on in this Mishnah, but that we could think about. That the stone, just you designated and it's good. The coin, you would have to have some kind of assertion that it's not going to revert back to being a coin, that you really want to designate it, or that it's really fastened to the garment, as opposed to just this piece that can come on and off easily, in some way that makes it more clear that it is being used as this makeshift button or the some kind of way of securing the garment in some kind of substantial way, and not just very temporarily. But in any case, these things need to be designated before Shabbat, unless otherwise they'll be muksa. Okay, we'll continue with 8 next week. Wishing everyone a great week, all the best, good Shabbos. See you next time. Bye.